What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the Samsung Galaxy A03s. So let's get started. Now this device is being offered in the US and all over the world. So this is the factory unlocked global model of the device, but it is being offered in the US at a variety of different carriers. But definitely take a look at the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for this device, and I will be linking to the various places for where you can get it at. Now the Galaxy A03s, as the name does imply, is the successor to last year's Galaxy A02s. Now I will be comparing those two devices in a future video, so definitely make sure to sub to the channel so you don't miss out on that content. Now before I show you a variety of different things about the actual device itself, let's take a closer look and see what all comes included here in the box. So you can see right here, Galaxy A03s, there's the phone up front, and then in the box we do have this packet here. So we get some literature, and then we also have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. We have a USB wall adapter, and we have a SIM card removal tool. So Samsung does provide us with everything here to get started. Now with the Samsung Galaxy A03s, we're getting a very large 6.5-inch display. Now this display is actually the same size as the new Galaxy A13 5G, and I will be comparing this phone to that phone as well in another video. But essentially, with such a large canvas here, it does make this phone ideal for content consumption. Whether that's watching videos, reading articles, or going on social media, there's definitely a lot of benefits to having a large display here because you will be able to see all your content a lot more clearly. Now the actual display itself is a PLS LCD display. It is a 720p display with a PPI of 270. And then we're getting a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a more narrow but taller form factor, and we're getting an 81.8% screen to body ratio. So in general, for a very entry-level device, we do have decently small bezels, and I do like the design of the phone, but you can see here that the bottom bezel is a bit thicker, and then we do have a water drop notch up top. Now in that notch is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and stay tuned for my full review video here on the channel, as I'll be showing you a variety of different photo and video samples from the device. Now internally, with the Galaxy A03s, we're getting 32 gigabytes of storage, and we also get microSD card expansion. So 32 gigs of internal storage is really not a whole lot, especially in 2022, and especially as apps continue to get bigger and bigger, 32 gigs is definitely almost not enough in my opinion. But at least we do have microSD card expansion, so you can offload some of your photos and videos to free up some space. Now since getting the device, I have installed a variety of my favorite applications, and between that and the system software, you can see here that about 46% of the internal storage has been used up so far. That is nice that we do at least have a decent amount of storage left, but at this point though, it is nearly half full, so I do recommend getting a microSD card to pair up with the phone. Now with the Galaxy A03s, there is no wireless charging, but we do have a fingerprint sensor on the power button. So let's give that a try right now. Nice and quick. One more time. There we go. Pretty fast there, nice and fast and accurate. So I'm definitely a big fan of having the fingerprint sensor, and especially having it on the power button itself, as I feel like that placement is very convenient. Now in addition to having the fingerprint sensor, this device also features face unlock, so I do appreciate that we do have multiple methods for accessing the phone. Now taking a closer look at the camera module on the device, we are getting a triple camera setup. So there's a 13 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera for close-up images, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode. And the Galaxy A03s does support portrait mode for both the rear and front cameras, which is definitely really awesome to see. Now here's how things look on the camera app. This is through the main camera right now. So we can take pictures, of course. We can also take some video. We can go over to the More tab here and access the macro camera. And with that, we can get very close up and have things be in very good detail. Definitely kind of an interesting feature to have. We can also go over to portrait mode to get those nice blurred out backgrounds, and then we can flip around to the front-facing camera and do the same thing. So there's me right there. You can also take standard selfies as well. And what's cool about this is that you can even switch to this other mode that kind of crops out a little bit more for a group selfie. Definitely a decent amount of functions here with the device. Of course, definitely not as many options and features as you get with a higher-end Samsung phone, but for what it is, I'm certainly happy with what we're getting here. And then video recording with the device does max out at 1080p with both the front and rear cameras. Now with the Galaxy A03s, we're getting a very large 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery. So I really do appreciate that we're getting that much battery capacity, and due to that, this device will easily give you a full day of usage, if not 2 days. Now with the Galaxy A03s, we're getting 3 gigabytes of RAM and the MediaTek Helio P35 processor. Now 3 gigs of RAM with an entry-level Android device like this one is acceptable overall, and the MediaTek Helio P35, while not being that fast of a processor, isn't necessarily that slow either for an entry-level device. So I did run a Geekbench 5 benchmark test with the phone, and here's the results I got from that test. So essentially, I got a single core score of 174 and a multi-core score of 888. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of whether or not the Galaxy A03s is even going to be a performance upgrade for you. Because these numbers really don't mean anything unless you're comparing them to another device. But from my experience of using this phone so far, which hasn't been too long of course, since this is my first impressions video, I do feel like the performance of the device is good enough for the most common tasks that you do with a smartphone. So if you want to check your emails, or browse the internet, or make a phone call, or send a text message, this phone will get the job done for that. But if you want to do anything advanced, like video editing on your phone, or playing high-performance games, for example, or if you're just someone who's constantly on your phone, then you probably will want to consider going for something a bit higher end than this device. But if you want something for the most common tasks you do with a smartphone, I do feel like the A03s probably will suit the needs of most people out there. Now the software that we're getting here is Android 11, and it does feature Samsung's skin laid over. So if you've used other Samsung devices in the past, then the software experience here is going to be very familiar for you, so there won't be much of a learning curve. Now unfortunately, with the Galaxy A03s, there is no NFC, so if you do like to make mobile contactless payments with your smartphone, then unfortunately you can't do that here with the phone. Now as far as the build quality goes, I feel like this device does feel decently solid. It does feel of high quality. Of course, it doesn't feature the most highest end materials out there, but for a phone that is made out of plastic and glass for the display, plastic for everything else, I'm pretty happy with the quality. It certainly doesn't feel cheap by any means. And this finish on the back of the phone really does look nice. It's a very bright, vibrant color. I don't know if in the US red is being offered, but this is the international model of the device, so there are more colors available when you go that route. But at least this red color specifically looks really good. So I also like that it's kind of a frosted finish, a little bit of a wavy texture to it as well, but it doesn't pick up any fingerprints. So I definitely prefer a device that has a finish like this versus a phone that has a glossy back, for example. But taking a look at the left side of the phone, we have just the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. Then on the right side of the device, we have volume up, volume down, and the fingerprint sensor. Then up top here we have the noise canceling microphone, and then on the bottom of the phone, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and we have the speaker. And then on the back of the device, it's a pretty minimalist setup, but we do have that triple camera setup, the flash, and the Samsung logo. So in general, I think the A03s is a very worthy successor to last year's A02s. Now, of course, stay tuned for the full comparison video, as I'm sure we'll learn a lot more from that. But in general, I do like this phone so far, and I feel like having decent cameras here, and then also having that fingerprint sensor on the power button, definitely does make this phone stand out quite a bit from its various budget counterparts. But this is my hands-on and first impressions video of the Samsung Galaxy A03s. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. But this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.